Captain Daiki stood at the training yard center. 100 recruits held their breath. Then he moved, the lightning step. A blade formed so fast, it left a ghost. Not one cadet tracked the footwork.
Not just speed. Every shift is a language. A language I already understand.
When the yard emptied at dusk, one recruit stayed. Kotaro picked up a practice blade. He closed his eyes, then let his body remember. The lightning step burst from him, exact, lethal. Behind him, the barracks door swung open. The instructor and recruits froze, mouths open. The instructor's voice cut through. You said you were untrained. That was a lie.
I didn't lie. I just watched Captain Daiki once. That was enough.
The recruits exchanged glances. Watching once was impossible. The instructor's face darkened. Kotaro saw the verdict before any report. He was a liar, or something worse. He stayed silent. The whispers started before Kotaro reached the barracks. Every pair of eyes weighed him differently.
So the farm boy, who never held a blade, can copy a captain's technique. You must think we're stupid.
Telling them the truth won't help. They'll never believe what they can't explain.
Aiko watched from the edge, jotting something in her notebook. She didn't laugh, but she didn't laugh, but she didn't speak for him either. The next morning, the instructor pulled him aside. The questioning lasted an hour. Each answer only dug the hole deeper. That night, Kotaro sat alone, staring at his hands, the hands that had moved without thinking.
I can replicate any movement, any style, after a single viewing. That's not normal. It's not human.
But instead of fear, a strange clarity settled on him. He couldn't prove his innocence, so he'd stopped trying.
If they won't listen, I'll listen to them. Every technique, every secret. I'll learn them all.
Kotaro lifted his head. He had a new mission. One no one else could know about. A week later, Lieutenant Reina took the training ground. Twin blades spun in her hands like extensions of her arms.
She shifts weight before every strike. The rotation isn't just wrist, it's shoulder-driven. I can feel it.
The other recruits saw only a demonstration. Kotaro saw a blueprint. By nightfall, he was in the forest, alone among the pines. He let his body recall. Daiki's footwork, Reina's rotation. He stitched them into one motion.
No one taught me this, but my body knows it better than any drill.
A branch cracked, 50 feet away, half hidden by an old oak. Princess Cadet Hina stood motionless.
That's not a core form. It's not anything I've seen. What are you, Kotaro?
Kotaro's blade froze mid-sweep. He hadn't heard a sound, but the air had changed, like a cold finger on his neck.
Someone was watching. I couldn't see them, but the forest had gone too quiet.
Hina slipped back into the dark. She didn't report him, but from that night, her eyes never left him for long. 3 days later, Instructor Hayashi announced sparring matches. Ren immediately pointed his practice blade at Kotaro.
You've been hiding something. Farm boy, show us the accidental captain move again.
Hold back. Whatever happens, don't blend the styles. It'll be a massacre.
Ren lunged with a precise core thrust. Kotaro's body answered before his mind. A single parry, but twisted like no core technique. Ren crashed to the dirt, eyes wide. He tried to speak, but no words came. The training ground went silent. Daiki stepped from the sideline and gripped Kotaro's shoulder, his face unreadable.
Where did you learn that? That wasn't a recruit form.
I just reacted. I don't know.
Daiki's grip tightened. The other officers exchanged glances. Whatever Kotaro had just done, it belonged to no known style. Kotaro pulled free and walked away, but the officers' whispers followed him. From the shadows, Hina's eyes tracked every step. Kotaro slipped away from the training ground, the officers' questions still ringing. He found the old oak at the edge of the yard.
Kotaro.
It's her. The princess cadet from the forest. She never stopped watching.
I saw you in the forest. The lightning step mixed with Reina's rotation. That's not normal learning.
I don't know what you think you saw. I am just a recruit, trying to survive.
Hina didn't press. She folded her arms, then sat on the low stone wall, patting the space beside her.
I am not here to report you. I am here because I want to understand.
No one has ever said that to me. Is this a trap, or is she real?
Reaching out, she brushed her fingertips against his wrist. Kotaro flinched, but he didn't pull away.
Whatever you are, Kotaro, you are not alone. But the captains are watching closer than you think. Be careful.
Commander Tatsuya appeared on the training ground 3 days later. Even the senior officers fell silent.
His stance absorbs attacks like water. That parry sequence, it's impenetrable.
Kotaro filed it away. By midnight, he was in the empty mess hall, trying to stitch the commander's defense into the hybrid. His body locked mid-step. The muscles in his shoulder twitched violently. He dropped the practice blade. From the far corner, Aiko watched. She wrote in her notebook. Kotaro's solo sessions show recurring motor disruption.
He massaged the knot. The hybrid was growing heavier, like muscle memory fighting itself.
Aiko slipped out, her footsteps silent. She didn't report him, yet, but the evidence was piling up.
He tried the sequence again. His lunge became a stumble. For a brief moment, he didn't recognize the move he'd just made.
That night, sleep came broken. In his dreams, 1,000 forms clashed, and none of them were his. The first crack had opened. Kotaro didn't know the history yet, but his body was already telling him. This gift had a price. 2 mornings later, a summons arrived. Commander Tatsuya wanted Kotaro in his office immediately.
He knows. One look at the commander's face, and I knew the game was over.
I've known since the lightning step. You copy what you see perfectly. Don't bother denying it.
Tatsuya opened a worn leather journal. 2 names were written inside, each crossed out with a date of death.
They had your gift. They became legends, and both died before 25. Too many styles tore their bodies apart.
Kotaro's blood turned cold. The journal entries described confusion, motor failure, and final, fatal clashes.
You have 2 choices. Lock your body into a single style now, and live, or keep all doors open and die.
I saw the dance fall apart. Every technique I'd stitched together turned to poison in my veins.
The commander's voice was stone. He wasn't offering debate. He was offering a death sentence or a mutilation. Kotaro didn't answer. He couldn't. The commander dismissed him into the corridor, where the air felt thinner. The forest ODM course loomed in the afternoon light. Kotaro strapped in, his jaw set. He had to test the truth. He launched into the trees, wires singing. For 10 seconds, the hybrid style held. Then his muscles rebelled. 2 evasions fired at once. The wires crossed. He spun and fell, slamming through branches. He hit the forest floor on his side, gasping. The hybrid dissolved into a storm of conflicting impulses.
Can't control them. The commander was right. This will kill me if I don't stop.
Footsteps crunched. Hina emerged from the trees, her braid swinging as she dropped to her knees.
Kotaro, what were you thinking? Here, lean on me.
The commander told me. I am a style copier. The ones before me died young. I have to lock into one style or die.
Then lock in. But the hybrid, it's genius. Don't let it die with you. Write it down, a manual, then specialize.
Kotaro's breath caught. A third path. He looked at Hina, and for the first time since the office, his eyes held a fragile hope. That night, Kotaro dragged a crate to the barracks corner and lit a candle. He drew every motion he'd stolen.
Daiki's lightning step. Commit weight forward before the pivot. Reina's rotation. Win the shoulder, not the wrist.
The barracks door creaked. Hina slipped inside, her silhouette small against the night.
You'll need a training partner to test those forms. I'll scribe while you move.
At dawn, they met under the old oak. Kotaro flowed through the hybrid sequences, while Hina rode at a stump.
With every correction, the map inside me grew clearer. The hybrid as knowledge, not reflex.
After each session, Kotaro isolated the lightning step. He drilled it until his muscles stopped offering other memories.
No cross-wired signals, no phantom forms. Just one clean path.
Scouts say a massive Titan column is marching from the east. The commander will mobilize us within days.
Kotaro's chest tightened. The manual had to be finished before deployment, and his body had to hold. The manual's last page filled under Kotaro's hand. The ink barely dried before he closed the cover.
I've captured every technique I've ever seen. Now I have to choose which one I'll keep for myself.
He traced the spine. The lightning step felt like the beginning of everything. The commander's shield stance that could stay as a footnote.
Speed first. Defense second. No rotation, no blending. Just one line, sharp as a blade.
He stood, the manual heavy under his arm. His body had stopped fighting him the moment he'd narrowed the path.
This is what survival feels like. Not a cage, but a chosen path.
Outside, the moonlight whitewashed the yard. He didn't need to practice tonight. He already knew the move he'd die on, or live by.
Tomorrow, I'll take this to the commander. The Kotaro hybrid belongs to the Corps now.
A deep breath, and the tension that had lived in his shoulders for weeks finally loosened. The choice was made. Whatever came next, he'd face it as one man with one style. Kotaro returned to the commander's office, the hand-bound manual tucked against his chest. He placed it on the desk without a word.
Commander, I've chosen a third path. Lock in one style and leave the hybrid to the Corps.
Tatsuya opened the cover. The ink still held the ghost of candlelight. His eyes moved across the diagrams, tracing Kotaro's annotations. The office held its breath.
You cataloged every stolen form, mapped transitions even the originators didn't write down. This is a masterwork.
Kotaro bowed, then laid a bundle of practice blades on the desk, the twin blades he'd carried since Reina's rotation.
I am done copying. Lightning step is all I'll carry from now on.
Then show us. Tomorrow, at the training yard, in front of every captain. Don't miss a step.
Kotaro straightened and walked out. In the corridor, Hina leaned against the wall, waiting.
He accepted.
The training yard was choked with every active officer. Tatsuya stood at the midpoint, arms crossed. Kotaro walked to the center alone. He didn't pause. The lightning step tore from his stance. Fast, clean, identical to Daiki's original, and yet sharper.
It's my form, but he stripped it to the bone. No imitation, this is his now.
Ren, on the outer ring, felt his smirk die. The farm boy wasn't pretending anymore. Kotaro accelerated through variations that even Daiki hadn't taught. His body flowed without a single cross-wired signal.
Shift your back foot. A centimeter further back. Yes, like that.
Reina's hand on his spine wasn't an inspection. It was the final correction a mentor gives a worthy student.
He's locked in. That recruit just became a specialist.
Ren's jaw tightened. The target of his contempt had transformed into someone he couldn't reach. Silence. Then a single clap from Tatsuya broke the air. The demonstration was over Elifrath. Kotaro had proven his third path. 3 days later, the Corps mobilized. A Titan vanguard shattered the outer wall. Kotaro launched into the breach with lightning step already uncoiling.
No chaos in my body. Just one clean thread through the nightmare.
Aiko's line snapped mid-air. She crashed into rubble, and a 5-meter Titan turned toward her.
Not today.
He accelerated, a perfect lightning step diagonal. The blade carved the nape before the Titan's arm could descend. Aiko gasped, still clutching her notebook. Kotaro pulled her up without a word, his breathing even.
The hybrid would have tangled me. This one strike was all I needed.
Hours later, the Titans fell back. Kotaro stood atop a collapsed wall, his green cloak torn, his single blade still steady. The commander's words returned. Lock in and live. He'd chosen, and the choice had held. For the first time, Kotaro believed he might actually survive this war. Back in the commander's office, Kotaro stood at attention. This time, the silence wasn't hostile.
You didn't just survive the fight. You proved that a style copier can walk away from the edge, effective immediately. You hold the rank of specialist. The manual is now official core reference.
He handed the manual to an aide waiting in the shadow. Have it copied. Every squad leader will study this. Kotaro bowed until his back ached. The gesture wasn't for rank, it was for being believed.
Your predecessors died alone. Their styles were scattered. You've done what none of them could.
Because someone told me not to keep it to myself. I am just the messenger now.
A flicker of something warm crossed the commander's face. Then he nodded toward the door.
Dismissed, specialist. We'll speak again after the manual circulates.
Kotaro stepped out. In the corridor, Hina pushed off the wall, her eyes asking the question he'd already answered. They walked to the edge of the training ground. The sun hung low, painting the sky orange.
The commander promoted me. Specialist. The manual is being copied for every squad leader now.
He really accepted the third path completely.
He reached inside his cloak and withdrew a second copy, bound in the same rough leather.
This is yours, the first copy. I wanted you to have it before anyone else.
She took it with both hands. The title read Kotaro Hybrid in his own careful script.
I remember the night you wrote the first page. Now it's real.
It's real, because you told me to write it. I wouldn't have thought of it alone.
For a long moment, neither spoke. The weight of the manual passed between them.
I will make sure this reaches every single recruit. Your gift won't be forgotten. I promise.
The next evening, Kotaro walked the training ground alone. The dirt was scarred with the day's drills.
Right here. I stood when Daiki first moved. I didn't know what I was yet.
He passed the low stone wall where Hina had sat beside him. Risked everything on a quiet question.
She saw me when I was invisible. That's a debt I can't repay.
The door of the barracks stood open. Beyond it, the crate where he'd written the manual by candlelight.
Everything I stole, I gave back. Now it belongs to everyone.
A transfer order waited in his pocket. A new unit, a new mission. The Corps had claimed his style and set him free. He turned toward the main gate. Beyond it, the world waited, and for the first time, he walked into it without a mask.
I am not a copy anymore. I'm just Kotaro.
And he stepped through. 10 years passed. The scouts who remembered the lonely farm boy were now captains of their own. The Kotaro Hybrid Manual was standard issue now. On every training field, its diagrams guided new blades.
Every technique in this manual was tested in battle. Study the transitions. They were mapped for a reason.
Recruits launched into hybrid drills. Lightning step fused with defensive parries. The blend was no longer an anomaly. From the shade of the old oak, a veteran scout watched. His hair was longer, his teal eyes quieter.
They move like a single body now. I never could have taught them this directly.
Hina's gaze flicked toward the oak. She didn't pause the drill, but a small smile touched her lips. He never sought recognition. The manual was enough, proof that the gift had become something bigger than himself. Later, Hina found him at the old stone wall. Between them rested the worn original copy, pages soft from a decade of use.
You built the bridge. Now they walk across it every day. That's your legacy, Kotaro.
In the commander's office, the Kotaro Hybrid Manual sat among the Corps' oldest tomes. The leather journal that once held only 2 crossed-out names now bore a third entry. Beside it, a framed sketch of a young cadet, teal eyes, messy violet hair, style copier, teacher, survivor. He never sought recognition, but the Corps would never forget the farm boy who chose to teach rather than fight. His gift had almost killed him. Instead, it became the standard by which all scouts were measured. The 2 predecessors died young, their styles scattered. Kotaro's legacy was a bridge. Every recruit who studied the manual walked across it, stronger than those who came before. In the end, He didn't need to copy anymore. He had already given everything, and the war went on. But now, the scouts had a weapon that no Titan could break. Long before the manual, Kotaro was a farm boy with calloused hands and a restless heart.
The fields gave us enough to survive. But I wanted something more than survival.
One harvest morning, a scout patrol passed the farm. Their green cloaks caught the wind like banners.
They moved like they owned the earth. I wanted to move like that.
He packed a single bag. His parents said nothing, but his mother's hands trembled when she touched his cheek.
I'll come back, but not the same. I'll come back as someone who can protect them.
The Corps recruitment hall was overwhelming. Rows of city-bred youths in clean boots. Kotaro wore patched trousers and an old blade his father had sharpened 100 times.
They think I am a joke, but I've worked fields since I could walk. I am stronger than I look.
The physical exam lasted 3 hours. Kotaro placed 4th out of 60. Not a farm boy's luck, just stubborn muscle. On enlistment day, Kotaro stood in line with 100 others. He didn't know it yet, but he was about to discover something that would change the Corps forever. Days blurred into a vicious routine. Every ODM drill, Kotaro fought his own body, forcing it to look clumsy.
If I let go even once, they'll see what I can really do. I have to stay hidden.
In the mess hall, he ate alone. Recruits avoided his table as if failure were contagious.
Last in the ODM drill again. Farm boy. Can't even balance on the wires. Can you?
He has no idea. I could outmaneuver him in my sleep, but one mistake and I am exposed.
Eiko watched from the edge, pen always moving. Her notes grew darker. Kotaro's reaction times are inconsistent, sometimes near instant, sometimes delayed. She reported nothing, but Kotaro caught her gaze once, and the suspicion in her eyes made his chest tighten.
Even the ones who don't speak are watching. How long before someone pieces it together?
His fist clenched under the table. The hybrid was a weight he carried alone, and it grew heavier every day. Some nights, he almost let go, almost let the perfect forms flood out. But then he'd see the captain's eyes, and the fear would seal his secret again. That night, Kotaro slipped into the Corps' archive room. Dusty shelves held records older than the walls themselves.
The commander showed me their names, but I need to know the rest. What really broke them?
He found a logbook from a previous commander. The first style copier, Renzo, died mid-battle not from an enemy, but from a seizure caused by conflicting forms. The door creaked. Hina stepped inside, a second logbook in her hands.
I'd been searching too. The second, Lara, wrote letters before the end. She had no one to trust with her secret.
Her words blurred. I am alone in a crowd. My gift is a wall no one crosses. I can feel my mind splinter.
She died of isolation, not just confusion. I've been hiding too, but at least I have one person. They had no one. My manual won't just list techniques. I'll write a preface, a warning that this gift demands companionship, not secrecy.
Then it's not just a manual, it's a bridge. Every future style copier will know they aren't alone.
He returned to his desk, took a fresh page, and wrote the first words. This manual is not for one, it is for all. In the mess hall that evening, Hina brought Kotaro to a gathering of every officer and cadet who had doubted him.
You didn't just mimic Lightning Step, you made it your own. The Corps is stronger because of you.
I only watched honestly, Captain. Everything else came from refusing to let the gift destroy me.
I've never seen a cadet refine a form so quickly. You pulled it back from the edge. I respect that.
Then, Ren pushed through the crowd. His usual sneer was gone, replaced by a rigid awkwardness.
I was blind and angry. Every taunt I threw at you was envy. Can you forgive that?
We both survived the battle. That's all that matters. Welcome back, Ren.
I wrote pages of suspicion about you, but you saved my life. This notebook is yours. I want you to see the truth I see now.
You saw more than anyone, Eiko. Keep writing. The Corps needs that sharp eye.
They didn't understand you at first, but they do now. The manual will live. I'll make sure of it.